Welcome back to class, dear students. In this lesson, I'm going to discuss about JavaScript arrays object and JSON object. So we'll learn more as we continue in your journey to become a full stack Web3 dApp developer, where you build both front end, middleware, and back end for a full stack dApp. Now, you see, when we talk about JavaScript array, in previous lessons, in case you missed it, go check it. We've discussed about data type and some other things like that, like string, numbers that you can put into your container, which is the variable. So now, in here, we are actually just want to talk shortly more on array, object, and JSON. Now, when we talk about array, in Java, I used to store multiple value in a single variable. They are fundamental in handling list of data. So when you talk about array, look at it as list. So like your variable, instead of having something like this, just one variable and then multiple, you can have it as a variable, as an array. So you can say it now. So this is an example of an array because you have 1, 2, 3. So each of these normally you might have done value 1, value 2, value 3. So it's not in every case you will be able to think of it this way. Like each of these array, let's say you want to collect the list of people, you want to do an airdrop, or you want to add them to be able to mint token from here. From this token minter. Now, for you to get that, you cannot create individual variable because after all, now you are not even going to sit down. People are going to put in, and you cannot reassign. If you say value 1, first person put their wallet. Once the second person pulls their wallet, it will erase the first one and replace it. So at the end of the day, even if 100 people put their wallet, you will still end up being able to keep one, because each variable will only take one per time. You understand? Just like I told you, this container now, you can see it can only take, just like, let's say I have this water now, and this is a cold water or normal and chilled water. Now, not really cold, yeah, just normal room temperature water and chilled. Now, if I need a cold or chilled water, and then I need hot water, then I will likely need to have 3 containers to hold each of them. And now I need to be able to move the 3, and that will not be easier for me. But then I can just have a kind of, maybe this container 1, 2, 3, created a kind of connection and a hook. That once I hold that hook, it has every of this. Then I have the one I can pick to take hot water. I have the one I can pick to take cold water. I have you understand, the room temperature water. So those are what I am trying to explain when it comes to using array. That's why it's so useful. And now when the people are trying to now give you their wallet, the best option to use in that case especially is array, because now the first person can add, then it will go to wallet 1. When the next person had it, it become wallet 2, wallet 3, wallet 4, till as much as you want it to be. So with that, you can come back to iterate through each of it. I need wallet 1, wallet 2, you understand? And you won't need to like have a long list of individual variables. So that's how useful the array is, and those are part of situation you can use. So you can see, look at this now. Let token name DPU coin, Ether, Litecoin, adding a new token to the array. So these are an example of how you can use an array which involves a lot of things. They are especially useful in handling list of elements where the order also matter. Array come with a multitude of methods, allowing for a wide range of operation with array method like push. Push means add to it. Then pop means delete from it. That means you remove. It's not easy to just delete like that. So you pop it out of the list. Shift, unshift, concat, join, map, filter, reduce. For each, that's like looping through this list. You know they are lists, so you are looping through each of them. So you can efficiently manipulate the array. So these are things you can go through some of the resources to learn more. And like I said, the AI are always there for you to ask them to give you more. You can say, okay, give me example, but we have one already here. Let's try and pull this up. So you can see it. Let token name equals to DP token Ether Litecoin. You understand? Then here now token name dot push. I want to push another one, iterating over the array token names for each token equals to console log token. So let's try and see if this could pop out. Do you see it now? Ether, Litecoin. So you are iterating. Let me bring this here. You are iterating over it. You can see because we didn't put this inside the function. So we can easily see it inside our console log now. You see this now for each token. So it iterates through every token we have here. So now adding a new token to the array. If you want to add a new token, you have to do token names dot push. Then what you want to add, it has to be, you see this now, because all these things you add is what? They are string. So that's why you see it in quote. If it is number, you won't need to have it in quote like this. You see that this doesn't have quote. And then each is comma. Each is comma. You see, close before response, received. You see, channel close. That was what we are learning about asynchronous. If your code close before it receives response, it will break user experience. So that's why you see this doesn't have. So you can add them like that, and this push to it and add another thing to this particular list. So I'm coming. Let's try and see here. Copy. Let me see if I can just run it directly. Bitcoin. Do you see it now? That is saying we have 4. Now let's try and run this again. Copy. Paste. Let's see. Do you see it? Now instead of 1, 2, 3 before, it's now 4. So I can as well just use the same thing. For example, now I can add Solana. You see, it's now 5. Once I try to run it now, the list comes like this. Let's swap it here. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So compared to this, so you see I can add, then I can as well pop. Look at this now. Like this now, I can decide to pop. Let's say I decide to add another thing that isn't a token by mistake. And so social media. When I enter, becomes 6. I try to check, you see. So I say, oop, this doesn't belong there. So let me just pop the last something that's there. I can just do this. Last token has already been declared. Good. So I should just make use of it. You see, social media. Let's run this again. You see it, that the social media that was here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 has now become 5. 1 2 3 4 5. So if I keep doing that, it will keep, but it will move from like the latest like that. So a lot of things you read more and learn about using array, and yeah, we have been able to add, we have been able to pop, we have been able to iterate through it to display each of it. And I think even this token, you can say it should specifically display specific. Let me try if I can remember. No. One, let's see. Okay. One, I'm coming. Let me tell the AI to console log random number, like number 1 from the array. Yeah. Do you see it now? So I can say you should console log this false, paste. Now let me do something for you here. 1 console log example array, console.log array 1. I'm coming. So I was what I'm expecting should be able to 0 is 1, 0 is 2. So it's like console logging because behind the scene, each of these things you see are assigned a number. So that's another thing I want to remember to tell you. Each of these, you look at it like this. This is, normally you will say this should be 1. Right? This should be 2. It's invisible, but that is what is coming out here. You will see it now. This is 2. But you'll be wrong because they start counting from 0. So this will be 1. And this will be 2. You understand? So imagine that counting it out for you. I'm coming. So that's just part of what you should keep in mind. Console log no wonder it was telling me this. That was the error I was making. Sorry, it gave me the first one. It should be token names. Token names. Yeah, figure that out. So that's how programming works. 1, good. You see, it brought out what? Eta. You can see what I was telling you. Why is it eta? Because this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So if I wanted to console log for me this DPU coin, which normally we would have counted as 1, then I will use 0. See, if I use 2, it says Litecoin. You can see it now. If I use 3, let's say we have 4. It says Solana, which is this. Because though this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it started from 0. So this becomes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For example, if I say you should console log 5, you will see. Because we don't have 5 there again, it says undefined. Because we didn't add anything. So it means it didn't see this as 1 to 5. It sees it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's how it will be 2, 3 up. So that's so important when we call it array index. Yeah. So it indexes them 1, 2, 3 in order. So if it's up to 1,000 wallet, for example, you can easily iterate and, pick out which wallet is number 10, number 50, number 100, and things like that. So that's it now. I think we get it clear. So what about if we want to now see the first one, then we use 0, and then you see the DPU coin. You can see it now. So I think that was the mistake I did before. It was dealing with this example, and you can see that's why when I said 1, it was bringing this 2, because this is seen as index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. It's weird, but it's what it is. So that's just some things you will learn to adapt to in programming as you move. Like, might not be as directly reasonable as you are used to in the conventional, maybe mathematics or arithmetic reasoning, but it is what it is, and we just have to go with that when it comes to programming and things like this, because they are baked as core of the programming language. And if you want to use the programming language, you have to stick by their sets, rules, and all those things. So let's clean up all this and have things back normal. So all this will clear off. Good. So now we've learned a lot about array. The similar we have object as well. So object, instead of, array are like just numbers or particular list, sorry. Object, look at when you want to discuss about a human being. You cannot just describe a human being by is a human being. There are a lot of things that must be detailed. His first name, his or her first name. Okay, let's start with the gender, so you know how to address. Is the person he or she, and or whatever you pick? Okay, the person is she. Good. Then, what's her first name? What's the last name? What's her height? What's her complexion? Dark, white, brown, green, yellow, gray, or whatever. You understand? What's the age? And then what's her nationality? What's her favorite color? So there are a lot of things when you are talking about a human being. The same with an animal. You want to talk about an eagle, for example, or a cat, or a lion. What's the height? Is it a juvenile? Is it an adult? All those things, they are not like position. They still together make up that single object. So a human being, all those things represent an object. So when you want to do that, you don't use array, you use what we call object, which gives you this instead of and you notice the way we declare objects, array with this type of bracket. So I don't know what you will call it, this type of bracket, compared to when you are dealing with, so you use your normal curly braces bracket when you are dealing with object. So you can put it, we call them property, object properties, and you see the property and the value. What's the name? What's the age? What's the gender? What's the complexion? What's the age? What's the nationality? So nationality is this, age is this, complexion is this. So that when you want to relate with such object, and another thing with object is similar to this, you can have multiple of them. Like this now, you can have multiple of them as an object. So you can see it now, access property, and the same thing you can also access its properties. Yeah, let's pull another one here. So you say let token details name. So token details dot supply equals to, So you remember when you wanted to add to our array, we need to use what? We added the array with different property, not with this. What can you remind me that we use pop to remove, and then we use push to add. Yeah, we use pop to remove. Here now, let's see, we use this supply dot, just put the property equals to this. So adding new, then accessing it. You understand things like that. So you can add new properties to it. So just like similar to, let's see if we can just give it a try, if that works. So DPU coin, you can see console log token detail dot name. So I can change this, or instead of changing it here and there, let's copy this and use it to like paste here. You see, then I can change this immediately. It will give me those that are like available dots. I have dot price, dot type, dot supply. You understand? So let's see supply and enter. You see it, because once we do this, this one has been executed. You may not see it, but it has been executed. So you see it, that we have the value here already. So the same, if we want to add another thing, let's say supply, then our decimal, like Bitcoin, all those ones, I think they usually use 18. Yeah, I think 18 or 16 decimal, 18. So, but Solana uses 9. So decimal, that would be 1, 2, let's use Solana 1. No, let me just say 9. Decimal 9. And then enter. So if I do this now, supply, and I can have that also added, dots, you see it, type, name, price, and now we have decimal. So let's do, and so it's 9 decimal. So you can see that's how you can also add, remove, and interact with your object. So you should know now the appropriate time to use your object. And like I told you, with this AI age, embracing us AI tool, most time you don't need to bother, because just tell this AI this is what you want to build. It will know when it is appropriate to use objects. The essence of learning all these basic things in this AI age is for you to understand the language, because even if the AI create those things for you, that it has error or not, if you don't understand that language, you can't comprehend it. You don't understand what is HTML, CSS, what's JavaScript, what's you want to use GitHub, he said you should commit, you don't understand those things. So that's why having this idea, it's not about remembering everything. No, you see, I forgot the push, then I check, you can ask your AI or anything like that. So those are how you can add. And then the last section of this lesson, we talk about JSON. JSON is an acronym of JavaScript Object Notation. Is a format for structuring data primarily used for transmitting data in web application. Understanding JSON is crucial for dealing with APIs. That's the fact, and it's cool. Like I told you, I've tried my best based on years of experience in web development, from Web 2, then moving to Web 3. Like I said, I joined 2017 and started web development, Web 3 development in like maybe 2020 or thereabout. So you can do the maths, whichever year we are now or so. So now, when you look at it, JSON object, you usually use it. So that's why I've organized it based on my experience to ensure you learn it step by step. So whatever you will need, be sure the Programming University, we have it for you. So that's it, we'll get to the API. But let's just have an idea. Now you see it, that is an object. JSON, that's why I say JavaScript Object Notation. So how is it structured? You don't need, this is like, makes it like, let me say, easier, like a single language. When you say, look at like HTTPS, like a protocol. So every website uses it, makes it easier for one website to interact with another, for you to use different hosting in domain and everything, because the protocol are universal. So it's the same thing that makes it easier. Like, okay, let's create a kind of universal object structure that will be used to pass API information to make it easier. So once I'm making an API call, I can always have a predictable object I'm getting, which will usually be in JSON format, and then I can break it down like we've seen previously, and we'll still see under the API, and like when we are learning under the synchronous, break it with then take the promises, break it down, iterate through this. Oh, I want to show the token price using things like this, or you understand things like that. So those are the things you will be able to access to understand better under the API. But knowing what JSON, so once you start saying JSON, don't be surprised. You know JSON is just an object, JavaScript object. So that makes it easier for you to pass information through API in a very well organized manner. So you have the token name, we have the token price, is available. So don't worry, we'll still use it in the API where we will connect with one of the crypto platform that give list of token, and then we'll get price of some token from there and display it as well in our dApp, maybe somewhere below this place or at the top or somewhere beside, wherever. We just make sure we display. So you learn more. There are resources you can also learn more here, check them out. But at the same time, you need support for this specific lesson. Please post under comment. Only question for this one should be asked here. Take time to read if other students have asked it. Don't ask or repeat the same question. You can say comment, you can reply under the previous ones that, okay, this also was helpful for me, the answer and things like that. So, and join the Discord official DPU University Discord, so that you can network with other Web3 developers and also get up to date on latest information from DPU officials. So aside from that, that's the 8 for this. We've covered 3 major things: array, objects, and JSON. And don't forget, this bracket means a lot. Don't mistake them for each other, you see. And then once you do it like this, you can begin to assign the kind of what you want to assign and the value it will carry. Then if it is array, you can see them like this. So you have the JSON object as well, which is an object. So that comes to the end of our JavaScript. But I will say this isn't actually the end, because when you talk about API, you are still using JavaScript. You talk about GraphQL, you are still using JavaScript. So JavaScript continue, yeah. And you see we are still going to learn JavaScript framework over here. So it's still continue, but like basically like pure JavaScript now is at least, and those are the basic things you need. A lot is, oh, that's not it. This is AI age. Embrace AI too. Don't be working the old way. Don't be learning the old way. Embrace them. Ask them. Once you understand all this, you'll be able to understand whatever the AI is giving you. And any aspect that seems advanced or complex, ask the AI to break it down. So I don't know why it's gone are those days you will need to spend 5 years before you start moving to develop something solid with JavaScript or any programming language. Because we got AI now with 100 years of age to support you 247. So I think that's all. I remain Solomon Foske of the Programming University. Keep the program sweeter and alive, and please always do good to humanity and nature with your knowledge and programming skill, and not evil, to make the world and universe a better place for us all. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Peace.